Morning, folks. It's 9:40. It's 9:24 in the morning, West Coast time. 12th of September, 2024. It's Thursday. Who the hell am I? Well, I am the Weaver of John C. in Roseman, California. Anyway, did you guys happen to catch that little bit of a shaker this morning out in here in California? SoCal getting a little wake-up call from Malibu, deciding to shake off a 5.7 at us. So everybody's having a conniption fit over the damn thing. They said it felt as far away as Lancaster. Well, I slept through it. I'm in Roseman, okay? So, bit of a distance, but that much of energy, I didn't feel a thing. I didn't. I really didn't. What I'm doing right now is trying to get into the USGS again, so we can find out what's going on. And okay, so basically they said it was about a. Let me just get into the earthquake maps here. Last 10 earthquakes I wanted to see. So about an hour ago from this time zone, they had a 4.7. That's a good shaker. That's a good alarm clock right there. Mama, come here. You're all right, honey. Come here, baby. Come here, sweetheart. Yes, you are. You're okay. You're safe. Yeah, you're safe. You're just stressing. Yeah, last time she was really stressing out. And she was having issues. Come here, honey. Uh, Madam Stress Case. Morning to you too, Ma. Yeah, I suppose we're having a little bit of movement along the Pacific Rim of Fire. But there are earthquakes happening all over. Hawaii had it. Small jolts, but they're. Columbia had them. 4.8, 4.9. Yeah. Little alarm clock. Malibu had 4.7. So nothing major yet. Just little alarm clocks. Except for this dog. Shortly before midnight, she's having conniption fits. She's more. She's done before. Had to be careful with the old lady. She's very old. And very fussy. Blind, deaf, and she's still able to stand around and boss me around. Even she didn't wake me up or stress out about the earthquake because she didn't notice it as much. Neither did I. So that was no problem. We know as the air quality still sucks outside, and we still smell the fires happening. They've got some partial containments happening. That's good. We can all deal with that one. I'll feel for that one. All right, California again. Incidents. So we're looking at the incident map. Currently, we've got a few fires happening in the surrounding neighborhoods. Focusing on the ones with zero containments, we've got Riverside, the Coyote Fire, just kicked in with a 20 acre. We got Tulare with the Alpa Fire, 18. We got Joshua Fire, 30. We still have the Bridge Fire at 51K. Days like this, I just wish I was back in bed sleeping all this stuff. We have a train fire. It's been ongoing for about 48 acres. They said it had about 65% containment. Train fire. I heard about this little sucker, but it's only been about maybe a day or two. Heard people talking about it out in Kern. In the Kern mountainsides. In an area where we actually had a bit of a flame out. It's in Tehachapi mountain areas. Great. That wasn't fun enough right there. So I am just trying to focus on what we got. Hey, I'd rather be going back to bed and sleeping my face off here. The Burrell fire just about mopped up. It was about 59,000 acres. Ongoing since July, so just about over with that one occurring. If they got little hot spots, they're not calling it 100% containment. If they got everything nailed, and that's all right. Joshua is a small fire happening out. Excuse me, in the bottom half of Palmdale and close to Little Rock area on the west side of them. So we're dealing with that little beauty. Bridge, they've got zero containment on it so far. It's burned about 50,000 K. Airport fire, well, at least you got 5% containment on the 23K. And the Coyote fire, well, it was just a 20 acre, but still getting started. The line fire out in San Bernardino is 37,000, but they got 18% containment, according to excuse me, Cal Fire's been talking about, at least in Southern California territory. They didn't say anything about Northern Cal. I'm more worried about my own local neighborhood anyway. There's another thing that we actually had going on. Just trying to get the weather information. We're cooling down a little bit. Mid to late 90s will be okay. A little bit of sea breeze coming in. Adding moisture to the fire, which means it'll keep it down a bit. That's good. But if we had high pressure cooking us, again, then we're really in for it, aren't we? But they're saying we're going to have a low pressure visiting us and shuffling things off a bit. So we might get more cooling trends, hopefully. This morning, we actually had, and I was trying to get some taping on this one. That sucks, but if I could tape things off my laptop, I would. I can't. So I do it the old-fashioned way. Tape it off the laptop with a cell phone. Trying to get things processed. See how they look. And whether or not I want to bury it alive like the worms they are. Yeah, I was sleeping. I had so much rotten sleep that I was seeing it. I was seeing it. This morning I turned on the computer watching history taking place where we have a rich guy and another person coming out of a capsule. Rich guy gets the first in because he's rich, he's a billionaire. He paid for a lot of water, a lot of space stuff, so he's doing what he's doing. I'm in the history books, I'm in the history books. Because I'm rich and famous now. Ha 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 ha. I paid for this. And Elon Musk will let him along because he needed the money. He's losing advertisers left and right. The guy wants to keep an open, free area where people can express themselves, including if they want to tear everybody else apart left and right. How about that one? I just like to own a media corporation and you have your advertisers, your supporters being pulled out. How do you still become a billionaire or a millionaire when you don't have the people pumping you up to be that way? That's the one thing I couldn't figure it out this morning. I was just barely waking up and just trying to understand Elon Musk and his mentality. Government contracts are one thing because the government contracts are public supported, public funded. You're getting money from the government, you're getting money from the public. And he's a private corporation, but he's getting government subsidies for it. Thus, of course, he's going to be paid for it entirely, which means he needs to depend upon the public and advertisers to keep paying his bills. So he can become this still billionaire genius. Genius my ass. And he allows a hell of a lot of negative thinking happening on his communication media that he bought a couple of years back. Tried to change it from the Twitter name into the X because it's X because he likes X, and therefore anybody else spewing off a lot of bile crap going on there. Not to mention news that it's not news; it's just playing out conspiracy theories. Could have private entities doing that one, but he wants open and honest, and it's not very open and honest. Not very much. Not very much. So he's got advertisers pulling out on him. I don't know where he's going to get his money from then. Meanwhile, wants to move his whole operation to Texas because they support his thinking. It's not the thinking, it's also concerning about transgender. And he's pissed off about it. So he's saying, I'm taking up and moving out of California because they don't like my thinking. They don't have to have my business in. Yeah, he's free to do so. Upend everyone else's lives to follow his own insanity. Take away jobs and industry out of here. Add other supporting services. But hey, here's Elon Musk. Big whoop. Big whoop. Or he allows a billionaire to go out there in space and become the first guy out there. You know, when the first people who came out in space, they were government paid employees. Yeah, they were paid out of U.S. Taxpayer money. Just because of a political whim going on. We didn't want the Russians to get out there in the first place, but they got out there. They did their own spacewalk. They did their own first shot. And we had to play catch up like crazy. Kind of sucked, but you know, that's what we did. But they didn't land on the moon. We did. We sacrificed a lot of lives for that one. We got a space transportation system going up there, and Russia copied it and didn't continue because they lost funding. Lost all those rubles. We continued there for 30 years until we felt like we couldn't financially continue the operation. And too much maintenance on it. Way too much maintenance. But I thought it was still a good system. It was still disastrous when we lost 2 ships. But the maintenance cost on how to keep that ship safe, yeah. And I started to understand NASA's issues with that one. I mean, how much safety can you throw in a space shuttle program that keeps losing space tiles? Ends up losing a ship and people in it. Yeah, that's got me concerned. Always. But we had people walking in space. They were government paid employees. They weren't billionaires. They weren't millionaires. They were contracted military personnel. They were U.S. government. Paid by taxpayers to take the big challenges. They had to prove themselves so they can do this. Now we got a first commercial guy comes in there. It's not Joe Schmo. No, it's a rich guy going in there saying, well, I paid money for this and therefore I trained hard for it. And now I can go out there and prove to people that I have an ego. Yeah, when I found out about this guy, I'm like, why the hell am I watching this shit in the first place? People are blowing it out of proportion, saying, oh, it's a first commercial thing. Okay, fine, first commercial. What about a guy who didn't have the millionaire or the billions? How about saying to Joe Schmo getting it for the first time? They're still trying to talk or try to get something going to get a commercial on the moon. We'll see what happens. Somebody else with a government contract will do it up there first. Why? And it won't be NASA either. It'll be somebody else. They'll establish their own first base and piss off the Americans. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I'm a bit sour this morning. I am a bit sour this morning. Yeah, I am a bit sour this morning. I had an earthquake earlier this morning, a couple hours back, shaking people up along Malibu. My thoughts were going to Rancho Palos Verdes. Whether or not the shaking was going to be doing anything else to the soil over there and making everyone else's lives miserable. That's the thing that worries about me. If the energy was enough to shake the bedrock or disturb the water tables over there, they're going to be enough to make everyone else's lives miserable. Earthquakes are unpredictable. They are. There's no way to predict them, except maybe get a little bit of a vibration from the ground. Maybe a half second later we'll get a warning for those closer to it. For the most part, we'll see how the rest of the day goes. I already had enough of the back and forth on the political debate. Kamala Harris wants another one. Trump's like, I did what I did. I won this one. I got her on that one good. The other people are going, no, you didn't. You don't get it. I'm Donald Trump. Yeah, I got it. You guys are lunatics. You guys are lunatics. That being said,